Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have another tutorial for you today. I know it's been a while, but it's for these adorable little cats. I just think they're the cutest thing. I'll insert some more pictures around here because unfortunately they all sold. These are perfect for markets, a little gift. I like to recreate people's cats, which I think is adorable, and I hope you love it. So let's get straight into the tutorial. All right, we'll start with our materials. I use Bernat blanket yarn, but you can use whatever yarn you like. For me, it says to use a size 6 or a J hook, so that's what I'm gonna be using. I have scissors, a needle to sew my ends in, a stitch marker, and I also have some safety eyes and some stuffing. All right, let's get straight into the tutorial. I know a lot of people have issues with magic circles and plush yarn, so what I prefer to use most of the time is to do a slip knot, leave a little tail, chain 2, so 1, 2, and then do however many single crochet into this first stitch. So for example, we're going to be starting with 8. So there's 1. However, if a magic circle does work better for you, then that's that, and do whatever method feels right for you. And we have 8 to start. Now for round 2, we're going to do an increase in each stitch. I like to put my stitch marker in the first stitch of each round, especially for that first one, so I'm not accidentally going in to that chain that we started with. So an increase is going to be 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So this should bring us up to a total of 16 stitches. So again, that was 1, 2 in the same stitch, 1, and 2 in the same stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. "16 stitches for the end of round 2. Moving on to round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So again, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And we're going to repeat this pattern around. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Again, that was 1 single crochet, and then 1 increase. And if we repeat this all the way around, it will bring us up to a total of 24 stitches for the round. And 24 single crochets for the end of round 3. Next up, for round 4, we are simply going to do 24 single crochet around. So 1 in each stitch. So there was 1, 2, 3, and 24 single crochets for the end of round 4. You should have something that looks roughly like this. Before we go any further, I like to take this tail that we started out with, pull it as tight as you can without snapping it, and just tie it in a double knot as close to the base as you can. This, in my mind, just keeps everything nice and secure, so I'm not scared of it coming undone. And I also find if your magic circle is a little pointed at the start, sometimes tying this knot super tight can help to kind of flatten it out. Now for round 5, we're going to get started on the ears, but first we're just going to do 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then for the first ear, we're going to need to know about front loops versus back loops. So if you can see on this stitch here, there's kind of 2 distinct bumps, one back one and one front one. If I put my hook through, you can see this is going to be the front loop here, and this one here is going to be the back loop. So for these ones, we are going to be working in the front loop only. So in this front loop, we are going to do a half double crochet. So you're gonna yarn over on your hook, you're gonna put it through just that front loop, you're gonna yarn over, pull it through again. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over for 4, and pull through everything. And you should have something that looks like that. Next, we're gonna go in the front loops of the next one, and this time we're gonna do a double crochet. So yarn over your hook, in through that front loop only, yarn over your hook and pull it through. You should have 3 loops on your hook, and this time we're gonna pull a loop over, but we're only gonna pull through 2. So we're gonna pull through these 2, and now you should have another 2. We're gonna yarn over and pull through these 2 if I can get it. and that is 1 double crochet. We're going to do another one into the exact same stitch. So again, it was yarn over, put it in through that same front loop, yarn over, pull through, you have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is our first ear done. Now we are going to do 3 regular single crochets in the next 3 stitches in both loops. So just regular like normal, 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to do the same process we did for the last ear again. So that was a half double crochet in the first front loop only, and then in the next front loop we are going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So like a double crochet increase essentially is what it is. Now that we've done that, we have both of our ears, and we are going to do 6 regular single crochet. So 1,
2, 3, 4, 5,
and 6. Then we are going to do the first foot, which is going to be done with a bobble stitch. For this, you're going to yarn over your hook, go through both loops of this next stitch, and pull a loop through like you're doing a double crochet. You yarn over again, and you pull through 2, just like a double crochet, but instead of finishing it off, we're gonna yarn over again, and we're gonna go back into that same stitch, and we're gonna yarn over, pull a loop through. Now you should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and now there should be 3. We're gonna do this one more time. You're gonna yarn over, go in, pull a loop through. Now, if you can see them, there should be 5 on here. We're gonna yarn over, pull through 2, and you should have 4 loops left. Now we're gonna yarn over and pull through all of these. And if you kind of push on the back side of it, you can see it make like a little foot shape is what we're going for. Now that you've done that, into the next stitches, we're going to do 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to do 1 more bobble stitch because obviously cats have 2 front legs. So yarn over, through, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, same stitch, pull a loop through, you have 4. Yarn over, pull through 2, you have 3. Yarn over, into the same stitch, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through 2, now you have 4. Yarn over, pull through all of them. And finally, to finish off, we're going to do 1 single crochet into the last stitch of round 5. Now we have something that looks roughly like this: 1 ear, 2 ear, and 2 little feet. Now for the next 4 rounds, so round 6, 7, 8, and 9, we're going to just do 24 single crochet a round. But for the first one, it's a little tricky, so I'll show you. So the last round, we started with 4 single crochet. So start with 4 and go, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for this 5th stitch, we're not gonna go around the outside of the ear or else it wouldn't stick up. So we're gonna actually fold it back, and you can see, hopefully, there is a back loop left over in the 2 spots where we went into the front loops only. So that's what you're going to crochet into. So we're gonna do 1 single crochet into this back loop and 1 single crochet into this back loop. So that is for the 2 stitches we did in the front loops. Then to find the 3 right in the middle, you can count from where we did our last one. We have our half double, our double, our double. So this one here is going to be the first of our 3 single crochet. So we have 1, 2, 3. Same thing again. Those 2 back loops we're gonna find, and we're gonna do 1, 2. And then again, if you look at this, you can see our half double, our double, our double. So this is our first one. And you'll know you counted right if you do 6 before you hit this bobble. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the next stitch here is the bobble stitch. So that's how I know I counted correctly. Into the bobble stitch, you kind of just crochet like normal. So into the one side of it and into the other side of it. We do the ones in the middle, just like normal. La-di-da, la-di-da. There's that. And 1 in that final stitch there. Pop the foot out. And that was our first round of 24 single crochet around. Now you should be able to see we just have 24 single crochet like normal to go around. So do 3 more rounds of 24 single crochet. I'm gonna go do it off camera and I will be right back. Now that you've done your 4 rounds of 24, you should have something that looks roughly like this. Now, before we go any further, I want to add the eyes in just so I can easily reach the back to put the backings on. I'm also going to add the nose. The placement of the eyes and nose is completely up to you. What I like to do is I place the nose in the first stitch right where we started because it's nice and easy to see and it tucks right in there. And then in terms of the eyes, I usually place them somewhere around the 3rd round here, and I just try and center them roughly with the nose and with the feet so that everything looks proportionate and cute. Now I just need to stick the backings on and we are good to go. Again, placement is completely up to you and what your personal preference is, but this is just how I like to do it. Oh my God, that looks terrifying. For round 10, we're going to start with 19 single crochet. So we got 1, and 19. And now we're gonna go ahead and do another bobble stitch for our back set of legs. This may vary for you based on your tensions, so you may need to add or remove an extra single crochet to make sure they are perfectly aligned. For me, 19 seems to be the magic number, so we're gonna do a bobble stitch, 4 on the hook and pull through. And if you look for me, those are centered with each other, so I'm happy with that. And then to finish off the round, I'm just going to do 3 single crochets for that last round. And I'm gonna do my bobble stitch here for the last stitch of round 10, just so that I can have my legs be even and aligned so they don't look crooked on the bottom. Now for round 11, we're just going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. And 24. For me, I was ending in the bobble stitch, but depending on where you place them, it may be slightly different for you. Now going into round 12, we are going to start to decrease our body down to finish it off. So I'm gonna start with 1 single crochet into the first stitch. And then in the next stitch, I'm gonna do a decrease. So we're gonna go through the front loop of 1 stitch, like so, and then the front loop of the next one, like so. So now you have 2 front loops on there, yarn over, pull through both, and then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Then we're gonna do a single crochet, a decrease, I'll show you one more time, through the front loop, through the next front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's called an invisible decrease. I would say in crochet, it's the most popular way to shrink your pieces down because you can't see the decrease visibly once the project is all done. Now we're gonna repeat this pattern of a single crochet followed by a decrease all the way around, and it should bring us down to a total of 16 stitches for the round. So we have 16 stitches at the end of round 12, and we have something that looks like this. This final round is going to be round 13, and we are simply going to do 8 decreases around. So just a round full of decreases. And that is my 8th decrease. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff the body to my desired firmness, and I'll show you how to sew it shut. We are going to go ahead and cut a tail. I personally don't leave a super long tail because you don't really need it. We're just sewing the little hole shut, so I'm just gonna go about there and then pull this through. Now this is our tail we're gonna sew shut with. I have it threaded onto my needle, and my technique for sewing it shut is in this first stitch here, the next one, I go through the front loop. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find because they're a little flat at this final stage. So I go in from the outside, and then for this next stitch, I'm gonna go the front loop, but out from the inside. And I repeat that around. So I go in and then out, all the way around. So you should only have to do it 4 times. Tighten it as you go, and you can see it beginning to cinch the hole shut there. Now, if I pull that, you can't see the hole anymore. Then I just go up and down a couple times around the center area to flatten everything out. So I pull it nice and tight. And also just to make sure my yarn is super secure in there and it's not coming out anytime soon. Finally, once I'm happy with that, I'm gonna pull it out a random stitch on the side, and I'm just going to tie a double knot with it and then push this tail back inside the body of the cat. And that is the body of our cat officially done. Now it's just time to add on the little tail, which is so easy. To add the tail, I'm gonna find a stitch somewhere along the top here. I'm gonna think about there, looks roughly centered, and stick my hook through. Then I take my yarn and leaving a long tail, I'm gonna put it over my hook and I'm simply going to pull this yarn through that loop that I went through. Now I have something that looks like this. Then you're gonna make a chain to your desired height. I usually do about 5 chains, but if you want a longer tail, you can, but keep in mind it doesn't stand totally upright because it is just yarn. So I did my chain of 5 here, and I'm gonna single crochet my way back down. So 4 single crochets. 1 and 4 single crochet back. So now my tail looks something roughly like that. Into the same stitch that we started in, I'm going to go through, pull through a loop, and do a slip stitch. So I'm just gonna pull it straight through that last loop on my hook. Now we can go ahead and cut our yarn, leaving a short tail. We pull this through, and now we should have 2 little tails here on either side of our tail. To sew everything together, I take this tail on the right, and I go through the top of the tail up here and down into the body. So through the top of the tail into the body, just like that, and pop out usually somewhere down below. Like so. Same for this one on the left. There we go. And then I pulled this through in the same stitch that this tail is in. So like that. So then they come out together. Then with these 2 tails, I simply double knot them together as tight as I can, just so that they're super secured and that tail's not coming loose. Double knot it and then push it back inside. And that is a no-sew chunky cat all done. And that is all. I hope you love it. Thank you so much for watching. More tutorials and videos on the way, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!